Man, I wish I had a gold tip like this. Hello you dirty potters, how are you today? What you guys are looking at right here is a very special commission I've been doing for about a month. And I'm almost done with it, but I wanted to make it extra special. So I went and I got myself some gold luster, and I lustered the very tippy top of these little things right here. Ticky. And I kind of figured I haven't done a video on gold luster yet, or any luster for that fact, so I think I'll do it today with you guys. Now, in case you don't know, gold luster is actually an overglaze, which means it goes over your glaze. That means after you're done doing this, so for example, these are fired to cone 5 or 6, up here, that means that you're going to fire it lower than that cone because it's an overglaze. So for this process, we're going to be firing down. So let's all just pretend we all saw these get fired at cone 5, 6. That means after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these back in the kiln at cone 018. It only takes an hour or so, it's not that long. Cone 018 is actually really not that hot. It takes a very little amount of time to get up to that temperature. In fact, I loaded this last night, I went out to eat, and I came back 30 minutes later and it was already done. I just had to wait for it to cool down. But Donte, how come this one looks so ugly and fat and round? It was a tester, don't look at it, it was a tester. It's a tester. And these little parts right here are actually metallic gold. It's actual gold suspended inside of some kind of liquid. I don't know what the liquid is, don't ask me. Doing lusters takes a very careful hand, and today I want to show you how, but there's a little bit of preparation before we actually start putting lusters on our stuff. And mind you, I can put this on anything. You can put this on almost any surface that is above cone 018. So if you fire something to cone 1, technically you can put gold luster on it as long as it's underneath cone 1. Before we get started, there's 6 things you're going to need. Firstly, you're going to need a bottle of premium gold luster. Now, I say premium gold luster not because I like to be extra fancy, but because there is a massive difference in between gold luster and premium gold luster. The Duncan website sells them both, and the only reason I know about each one is because my store next to me sells both of them. So you're going to want to get the premium gold luster. It stretches a little bit longer, which means it lasts a little bit longer on the brush strokes. It's a little bit more powerful. It's a lot thicker when you put it on. It's just a much more pleasurable gold to work with. And if you're an experienced potter, you can definitely tell the premium gold luster from the regular gold luster. If you mess up a stroke and you need to go ahead and wipe it off, this stuff comes off a lot better than the other stuff, which just leaves streaks everywhere. Trust me, you're going to want to shell out that extra $10 to $15 to get that premium gold luster. So this is what you need first. If you don't have a store, you can find one on the Duncan website. The one I have in my hand is from Duncan. The second thing you're going to need is a brand new brush, and I say brand new because this brush right here that you're going to use on that gold luster is never going to be used for anything else again, and this is very important. This cannot have any other contaminants or glazes on it, which is in fact why the little thing that it came with, the little protected layer, is still on it. And you need to wash this each and every time when you're done. So you're going to use this, you're going to do what you do with it, and then you're going to wash it and put it back right next to the gold luster bottle, and they should never be separated. The third and fourth thing you're going to need is a towel, and you're also going to need a bottle of rubbing alcohol because you need to clean the surface of where you're going to apply the gold luster right before you apply it. I like to let it dry, but drying rubbing alcohol takes like 4 seconds, so it doesn't really matter. So you need a clean towel and a bottle of rubbing alcohol. These two are very important. You're going to need this bottle of rubbing alcohol to clean your brush and clean anything else gold luster might get on that you don't want it on. And you're also going to need this towel with a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it to clean the spot in which you're going to apply the gold luster. The fifth thing you're going to need is pyrometric cones at 018. That is because these lusters fire at 018, and it doesn't take very long. It takes maybe like an hour or so. In fact, the other day I did the gold luster and I went to go out to eat and I came back and they were done. It took about 45 to 30 minutes. So it wasn't that bad, but it does take a good 5 hours of cooling down time. So 018 is what we're going to be firing this at today. I have seen lusters that fire at like 016 and 017, but this is pretty standard, this 018 cone. The sixth thing you're going to need is clean hands. I wash my hands with Dawn, the potter's choice. That's not true, Dawn, don't try and sponsor me. But you know if you want to. But I need no oil on my hands. I shouldn't be touching any doorknobs, shouldn't be picking my nose, shouldn't be touching my face. Human beings are full of these natural oils that come from our skin, and you don't want that on your lusters. These are contaminants that you don't need. So let's just put these over here. We don't need, get out of here. Get out of, oh, I'm sorry. So first thing we gotta do is we gotta find the spots in which we want to put our gold luster. So what I've been doing is I've been putting gold luster on this spot here and on this tippy spot here. So these two right here are testers. I just wanted to see which one looked better whenever I put it on there. So I'm not really digging this one right here. I'm a little bit more into this one right here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pour some rubbing alcohol on this towel right here, and I'm going to rub all the top spaces of all those pieces over there so that they can be nice and clean before I put my expensive gold luster on them.
As time goes by. It's been a long time.
So now that everything's nice and clean, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get our premium bottle of Le Gold Luster and our premium, it's not a bottle, but it is still a brush. Keep in mind, this right here is 2 coats. I will say that I found no difference in between putting 1 coat of gold luster or 2 or 3. So I usually just do 2 coats just to make sure I've gotten the brush on right. Even the other bottle I showed you earlier is still 2 coats on the very tippy top. The stuff inside here looks really, really red. Don't be alarmed, it will turn gold.
It's been a long time.
Now this step is very important if you ever want to use this stuff again. Seal the bottle back up nice and tight and put it in a spot where you won't lose it. Get your rubbing alcohol from earlier and put it in a tiny container, like a bowl. I like to use my bowl right here. And just swash that brush that you just used all the luster on all up around in there. You want it real, real clean. Real clean. Nice and clean. Get it all off. After you've cleaned it, put it right back inside of its case. And then you're gonna put these somewhere and make sure that these are together so that you never ever forget that these two are supposed to be together. Okay, they're all done now, even though I will say it looks like I just dipped them all in blood, to be honest with you. After you apply the lusters, let them dry for a little bit. I like to put 2 coats on them, and sometimes they drip downwards, and I put them in the kiln, then I notice there's a drip there, and then I gotta wipe it off with rubbing alcohol. It's not a good time. So I suggest you let them dry for a little bit, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, and then put them in the kiln, because it takes a second for them to dry. This will stop you from putting them inside the kiln and then being like, oh, look, there's a giant drip there. Now I have to take it out of the kiln and wash it off. Or, worse yet, you're gonna fire this and be like, great, now there's a giant dip of just gold going down here. Alright, these are all lustered up. Let's put them in the kiln now.
It's been a long time.
Okay, now we gotta load that cone 018 sitter in there. Very carefully, because if I touch any of the gold, I will have to redo the entire process. I actually put a couple extra goodies in there off camera, but you won't get to see that till tomorrow. Yeah. So I have a model 181 scut kiln, so I'm putting them both on high. It's manual, which means I gotta push the button, and now it's on. This will only take about 45 minutes to an hour, but mark that you have to put it on high. If you put it on medium or low, it might not reach proper temperature because cone 018 is somewhere around 1,100 degrees. Alright, everything's in there. Now we're gonna fire this thing up and wait till the morning and see how it goes.
Tomorrow.
Some of the old songs.
Yes, that is what I'm talking about. That is how you do a gold luster. Now to be fair, I know there's someone in the comments below are gonna be like, I've never cleaned off my pieces. I'm fancy. I don't mind contaminants. Meh. Somebody tell that guy to shut up. But also, this is the way I was taught to do it, and it's always served me well, so I'm teaching it to you now. They should say that you need to have a finished product before you actually put this gold luster stuff on. So that means you've already gone through the bisque, that means you've already gone through the glaze, and then you're gonna put the gold luster on. You can't put this on underneath other stuff. I mean, you can, but it's not gonna look nice. Because this is technically an overglaze, and an overglaze means it goes over all the other glaze because it's fired down. So this is what you want first. You want a finished product first, and then you want to put your gold luster over it. But thank you guys very much for joining me. I hope this helped some of you dirty potters out there really learn about your gold lusters. It's not really that hard. It's honestly just put it in at cone 018 after you apply it to wherever you want. I just wanted to show you guys how to clean it real quick and explain it to some people who might not know. So thank you for watching this video. If you want to see any of my artwork, of course, the links are down below, my Facebook fan page as well as my Instagram if you want to give me a shout out or anything. I get at least one message a day of people who are either really angry or really happy. And I will see you Dirty Potters next week.
Some of the old songs.
You thought I loaded an entire kiln and didn't do some gold luster for myself? Are you kidding me? Yeah, who do you think you're talking to?